Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. So I am finally getting to chat to you about the Cheltenham Literature Festival 2018. That seems like a really long time ago now. It was at the beginning of October and it's now December. So it was quite a while ago, and usually I can't wait to chat you through it, but of course I was busy, wasn't I? Busy bee. But I went with my friend, as I usually do. It was the same as it was last year. So last year they just had the town hall in the town hall, and then they had Montpellier Gardens as the festival. It was nice. It's always a nice environment, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter if it's a bit of a disappointment because it's the environment and my friend, and that's why we go for, because we just love talking books and we have good old rants in the car. So I went to 4 different talks over 3 different days. So the first talk we went to was called Cheltenham Suffragettes, and it was about the suffragettes of Cheltenham, so more on a grassroots level. I enjoyed it. It was like an interview, interviewing the author. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to learn more. I think that's probably a good thing about a talk, you know, it leaves you wanting more. Then on the same day, but later on, we went to a talk on Robert Peston. Now, if I was just going by myself, personally I wouldn't have booked it, but my friend wanted to see him, so I was just like, yeah, I'll go. And actually I thought it was quite interesting, some of his opinions and what he had to say. I was like, oh, okay. I'm quite open-minded anyway, so I don't mind. It was quite funny actually. In that talk, there was these ladies right at the front, and they obviously went to absolutely slaughter him, because they were just shouting stuff out, and they were when it came around to question time, they were it wasn't questions, they were just going in on him, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I felt quite sorry for the guy. Yeah, they really laid into him. I thought, well, the tickets are £14, so you spent £14 each to just have a go at him. Oh, excuse me. Also like, okie dokie, whatever you want to do with your money, that's your call, whatever. Then on the Wednesday evening, we did an evening one, 8 till 9 p.m, which was quite nice actually, because all the the lights were out and it looked really nice. So we had Anna Murphy, The Clothes We Stand Up In. Now, me and my friend were a bit disappointed by this one because we thought, from what it said in the catalogue thing and online, it kind of sounded like it was about the history of clothing and how we've got to where we are today, but it wasn't really like that. There was the smallest element on the history of the item, but it was more on fashion today, and I was just I'm not bothered about fashion today. I'm no thank you. So we're a bit disappointed on that and looking at weird, horrible fashions. I think the fashions today are terrible, to be honest, so that's why I don't like it. And then finally we went on the very last day. So I went on the very first day, and then one in the middle, and the very last day. And we went to a talk on The Guilty Feminist. Now, I didn't realise The Guilty Feminist was a podcast. So they were filming it for the podcast, so we had to do sound bites and stuff like that. And to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. And it was very much what I thought it was going to be, kind of stereotypical things, some of them, and I was a bit oh, I wasn't too keen. So yeah, but even though it was a bit disappointment to the talks, I still really enjoyed going because, one, I get to see my friend who I don't get to see too often because, you know, we're both busy, and you know, the other thing is the environment in which we're in is just lovely. It's like a little, almost like a music festival sort of thing, and you can't help but get swept up in the environment and shopping, and we absolutely splurge, and we go for meals out, and it's just absolutely lovely. And my favourite probably thing is we get into the car and we just rant about so we were talking about feminism, and we were talking about how feminism, what is achieving in this day and age, and we were talking about the talks of what it was and what they should have been, and it was wonderful. So I had a really nice time, despite the fact that I wasn't too keen on the talks. Spending time with someone who's really bookish is just phenomenal. And of course I got some books. So as I said, bit of a disappointment in the old talks front. However, there was one talk that I found interesting enough to get the book, and that was the first talk that I went to. And the book was Votes for Women, Cheltenham and the Cotswolds by Sue Jones. So this is about women on like grassroots level. I got this book signed and dedicated to me. Now, I am not from Cheltenham or the Cotswolds. I don't live very far away from Cheltenham or the Cotswolds. But I thought some of the women sounded really interesting, so I wanted to read a bit more. And I thought, well, if I enjoy this book, I'm going to go on a hunt and look for a book similar, perhaps Birmingham, although I don't live in Birmingham, or Worcester, so basically a town closer to me. I don't know if there might be one on Birmingham. I don't know if there'll be one on Worcester. If not, I might do some research into like suffragettes of Worcester, because I think that might be quite interesting. So I got that one, signed and dedicated, as I said. And then also, I got this signed. I didn't get it dedicated because I didn't go to the talk, but I saw this the last day, saw this book, and I was just like, where on earth was this? I literally just saw the cover and I went to my friend, I went, I'm buying this. And she went and bought a copy too. And it is Emily Wilding Davison, The Martyr Suffragette by Lucy Fisher. Excuse me. Now, I couldn't attend a few days. My friend couldn't attend a few days, so he said, let's just not look at those days because we might see something that we really want to go to and we know we can't and we'll be disappointed. So I think this talk might have been on one of those days. So it is signed, it's just not dedicated to me, and it is a biography of the life of Emily Wilding Davison. If you don't know, she was the lady who ran in front of the King's horse on Derby Day in June 1913. So yeah, can't wait to read this, actually. I haven't read any of these books. I've been holding out to do this video and I'm like, I really want to read them. And I need to decide which one to read first. So I was really happy I got that, although shame I didn't go to the talk. Then we get to the Waterstones tents, and I actually only bought one book from the Waterstones tent, the one in Montpellier Gardens, and that was this one, Shapely Ankle Preferred, A History of Lonely Hearts Advertisement by Francesca Bowman. I saw this on day one, read the first page, and I thought, this sounds really good. But I'd already picked up a couple of books by then, and I was just like, oh no, I don't want to go nuts. But when we went to the second day talk, the Close We Stand Up and Talk, and obviously I didn't buy the book for that one because I didn't enjoy the talk, I thought, oh, I'm going to get this, because then I've just bought one book on that day. And I got this one, and it just sounds lovely. It sounds right up my street. And then we went to the 3-story Waterstones that they have in Cheltenham. If you go to Cheltenham, please go to that Waterstones because it is brilliant. They have the ground floor, first floor and second floor. On the first floor, there's a Costa Coffee, which we didn't actually go to because we went for like food at like an Indian and stuff like that. But we have been before and it's very nice. So books that I picked up there, I tried to be really quite careful because obviously renovating a house, tried to be careful with money, but my boyfriend was just like, just treat yourself because it's once a year. You don't buy too many books throughout the year. So try and be careful. Just don't worry, enjoy yourself. I tried to be careful. He was like, chill. So first thing I picked up was this tote bag. I can never get enough tote bags, honestly. It's just a Waterstones one and it has books on and it just looks very nice. And that was $4.99 and it was just nice to carry my books around. I did take other tote bags with me, but I don't know what happens to my tote bags. I'm sure I must eat them or something. I'm always like, where on earth is a tote bag? And I kind of refuse to use plastic bags because I'm like, why would I use their environment when I can use tote bags? So I'm always buying tote bags, I'm forever buying. Then I went into Waterstones. On the ground floor. They have a children's section. Never underestimate a children's section because the great thing about a children's book is it should appeal to adults but too. And because this Waterstones was so big, they had a children's history section. Oh, it's like the place of dreams. And I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books from that section. So the first book I picked up was this one. This is Little People, Big Dreams by of Agatha Christie, written by, oh, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, I will link it down below. But these are the end papers, and this is the image inside. And I thought, oh, that looks rather good. And when I got home, I had a quick flick through. I didn't read, but I had a quick flick through and saw there was other ones. And I was like, right, I'm going to get them. So when I went back, I picked up Coco Chanel, end papers, art, and Suffragette theme, Emmeline Pankhurst, end papers, art. Oh, my battery's flashing. 2 ticks. And I'm back. I've done the battery change. You know it's a long video when you've got to change the battery, don't you? But I'd rather change the battery than rush, to be honest. So where did I get to? I showed you those children's books. Then I saw this in the children's history section as well. This is a history of fashion. It's by the publisher. Is it Usborne or Usborne? Usborne? I don't know. I've won. I did a video which was colouring history book, and it was like on Victorian fashions. If you've seen that, that was by this publisher. It's lovely. They do some really nice books. And look at it. How nice is this? A history of fashions. Now, if it's like vintage fashion, then probably not going to teach me anything, but here, yes, there's loads of different ages throughout history that I definitely don't know about and could do with learning. So a beautiful way to learn. And that was only £9.99. I thought, what an absolute bargain. Bargain, I love a good bargain. And then, so in Waterstones, it's a big one. They have this new in history section. And there's probably about 6-7 books that I was like, me and my friend, I was just like, should I get this? Should I get this? Should I get this? My friend was just like, oh, you could do. And I was just like, yeah, I could do. I'm not sure. I couldn't decide whether I wanted it or not, whether I wanted to spend the money or not. I was in an RM. And I said to my friend, if I find this one book that's been on my wish list since its pre-order and it's just come out because I'm so desperate to have it, if I find this book, then I'll get it, and I'll get this one. Because the others, like their retail price was like 25, 30, 35 pounds. And I was like, oh, do I want to spend that much when I know I can get it cheaper elsewhere? So I was like, if I see this one, I will definitely get it. And I didn't see it in the new in section. I was like, where is it? And then when I went to the children's history section, it was like on display. And I was just like, I didn't realise it was a children's book, but hey ho. I found it, and it is this one, Suffragette, The Battle for Equality by David Roberts. Look how awesomely, amazingly beautiful this book is. You're not even ready for it, I'll tell you. Look at that. The imagery is just beautiful. And it kind of goes through different years. So 1832, the vote lost. So it goes through different dates. So this one's 1906, rotten fish and bad eggs. Different dates with images. Talks about, who, people like Emmeline Pankhurst hers was, and Sylvia and Christabel, and etc, and why women wanted the vote, and all those types of things. I've wanted this book, like I've had it on my wish list since like pre-order, and I was just like, I really wanted it. I'm so glad I got it. So yes, that one was like my number one, and I've been dying to read this, and I've just been putting it off to do this video first. So it's okay, I can read it now. And then finally, another book that I've had on my wish list since pre-order, and I was hoping to get it for, I'm not sure if it was Christmas or my birthday, but because I didn't get it, I was just like, well, I can treat myself to it, can't I? And I picked it up. It is The Prince Who Would Be King, The Life and Death of Henry Stuart by Sarah Fraser. This is a biography on the life of Henry Stuart. Henry Stuart, if you didn't know, is the son of James VI of Scotland, James I of England, whatever you want to call him. This is his eldest son, Henry, who was like the perfect prince, he was good looking, he was athletic, he was wanting to be a good king, etc., really learned. But you might be thinking, hold on, James I wasn't succeeded by Henry IX. No, he wasn't, because he dies. And then, of course, Charles I comes into play, which is Henry's little brother. But I wanted to learn more about him, So I thought I'd pick this up. Again, it's one that I've had on my wish list for a long time, and when you see books that are on your wish list, you're so tempted because you're like, oh, I really, really want it. And then I can't help myself. So those are all the books that I picked up from Cheltenham Literature Festival. I really enjoyed my time, and I think this year's Cheltenham has really gone to show me that actually it's not necessarily about the talks, it's more about the company and the experience, and it's really nice now because it's like a festival vibe and it's just a nice place to kind of chill out and relax, and it's just lovely. So yeah, that's how I feel about Cheltenham 2018. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of all the books that I bought. Do you think I went a bit OTT? Do you think I'm quite reserved? Why is with my voice? Excuse me. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I shall see you soon for the next one. Bye for now.